Hello there, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to be bringing you a guide on Ash's perks today. Some people are saying Ash's perks are a little bit weak. I actually find them insanely fun and very useful in certain situations. Sometimes extraordinarily useful in certain situations. He has a very anti-slug build, and I think that this is done on purpose because of kind of the way that Dead by Daylight has been going for survivors recently. We're going to start with Mettle of Man. I'm just going to put a picture of what the actual wording is on the screen right here. But there is something, there's two important things to mention about this perk. One is that according to the wording, once activated, the next occasion that will put you into the dying state from the injured state is ignored. And that's very specific. And that indicates to me, now I've never tested this any other way, but it indicates to me that anything that takes you from full health all the way down to injured may not be ignored, and that you really need to be very particular and very careful about when it is you're using Mettle of Man. And then also you have to pay attention to this part. The next time you heal back to full health, your aura will be revealed to the killer when you're further than 12, 14, or 16 meters from the killer. And so that sounds to me, now I've not played against this as a killer yet, but it sounds to me that once you've activated your perk and you've ignored a hit, the next time you're healed back up to full, you will be revealed to the killer indefinitely until you get downed again. It says Mettle of Man will deactivate the next time you're put into the dying state. There you go. So until you get downed, if you get healed back up from that into full health, you will be seen by the killer. It's important to keep in mind. It's also increased chance of being the obsession. So there you go. It is an obsession perk. Now, there's a couple things that are really interesting about Mettle of Man. One is that it doesn't stack with in a lot of situations. Nurse Precise Blinks don't stack it right now. Huntress's Hatchets don't stack it. There's a lot of things that aren't going to stack this for you. Any M2 is not going to stack it. Spirit coming out of the M2 does, it seems. At least that was what I saw today. And a lot of other, like Wraith also stacks it when coming out of his invisibility. But there's quite a few ways to counter Mettle of Man using killers or using killer abilities. So a chainsaw will not at all get ping Mettle of Man and stack it. So it's kind of hard to stack Mettle of Man is the point. 3 basic attacks may sound really easy, but it's not. If you're going against a nurse, or if you're going against a hillbilly, or a cannibal, or somebody who has, or Mikey even, who can one-shot you down several times a game. It might be hard to get hit 3 times and live 3 times, especially if your team's not very good at rescuing off the hook. So, I've got a couple tips for you. I've got a little bit of advice. One is you might want to try body blocking. If you're having a hard time stacking Mettle of Man, or if you are going against a killer that doesn't really easily stack it, if the game is coming towards an end and you want to be safe to get out of the gates, give yourself an extra hit, you want to stack your Mettle of Man. I like to actually run it with either a Survive with Friends team or with self-care, and then I'll take a body block. That'll stack 1 level of Mettle of Man. I run away, I self-care. You could also use a med kit for this purpose. And then the next time I get a chance to do a body block from full health, I'll do that again. And the purpose of this is just to stack up Mettle of Man so that when the end of the game comes, I have that extra hit available that can save me very, very nicely in a dicey situation. I also think the Mettle of Man goes well with a couple really particular perks. I think it's really great with Dead Hard because Mettle of Man seems to be one of those perks that's really good for extending the chase. And the longer you can extend the chase, the more likely it is that the killer's going to say, I give up, I'm not chasing this guy any longer. I also really like Mettle of Man with Decisive Strike because in the right situation, Decisive Strike can actually get you an additional stack of Mettle of Man. Let's say you get hit twice by basic attack, so you have 2 out of 3 stacks of Mettle of Man. You get hooked up, you get YOLO saved, you get tunneled down again. That's 3 stacks of Mettle of Man, but you're already in the dying state. You get picked up, you hit your Decisive. The next time you get hit, you will not be going down. Thanks very much, Mettle of Man. And so I really feel like Decisive Strike is a very strong perk to bring with Mettle of Man. Decisive, if you have the ability to heal, is really good as well. I tend to bring Dead Hard because it extends the chase very nicely, and Adrenaline. And so between Dead Hard, Adrenaline, and Mettle of Man, if it comes to the end of the game, and I'm being chased as the last couple of gens are being done, if I have full health, Mettle of Man, and Dead Hard, I can take 4 swings basically that would otherwise hit or do hit, And that is a lot of time if you have a couple pallets. You buy time, you hit the adrenaline, and you zoom on out of there like a bat out of hell, back to full health. There you go. Mettle of Man.
Thank you. I am
Flip-flop. Now, flip-flop got a lot of heat early on. People were saying it's going to be OP. And I really don't think that it is. There's a couple situations where it's fairly powerful with. One of the meme builds I was trying with flip-flop, and I'm going to put that up to you right now in a nice picture. One of the big things that I try with flip-flop is Unbreakable, Tenacity, and Boil Over. And this was very much a meme build. It wasn't particularly good, honestly. It was too situational, I find. But there were some good things about it. So, Boil Over makes it so that the killer has a harder time getting to the hooks, and they do not see the hook closest to them. Its aura is hidden. And this has saved me before while using this build. And then when you have Flip-Flop, which allows you to convert part of your regeneration in the dying state to struggle progression, and then on top of that you have Tenacity and Unbreakable. Now what you can do is you can take body blocks for people who are going to the hook, 2 of them, get downed all the way, and crawl away from the hook while healing yourself up. If they do find you, by the time they found you after you crawled away using Tenacity, extra speed from Unbreakable, and then your flip-flop progression, you have a pretty decent chance of getting out. Boil Over makes it a little bit higher of a chance of getting out, in my opinion, but I think that, honestly, a Boil Over is not useful enough to take it in exchange for an exhaustion perk or an adrenaline. But Flip-Flop, very powerful when used with a certain build. You can put Flip-Flop on as a general thing. It is kind of a clutch perk. All of his perks are kind of clutch perks. Flip-Flop alone is okay if you're against a snurse and, you know, or a slugging Billy at the end and you get slugged and, you know, the other guy dies and you know where the hatch is. They pick you up to bring you to the nearest hook, and lo and behold, you have Flip-Flop, you clutch, you escape. But it's tough to make that call to bring Flip-Flop alone unless you're just in a high rank zone where you get slugged a lot. And I think slugging is going to be low. It's not going to be happening much until Flip-Flop kind of gets forgotten about a little bit. You don't need to really charge up Flip-Flop at all. So I think that really all you have to keep in mind is that there's some perks that really help it. If that's the build you want to go for, Unbreakable is really great. Tenacity is pretty darn good. And Boil Over if you really want to meme it up. Buckle Up. Now, Buckle Up I find to be useful, but the more mundane of Ash's perks. So I'm going to pop that up for you right here. There is an important aspect to it, and that is that you can see if they're ready to be popped up from a very long distance, up to 48 meters, pretty darn good. And when you heal them from dying to injured, you and the survivor, that's 2 people, see the killer's aura for 4, 5, or 6 seconds depending on the rank. Why is this so important? It's actually a long time to see the killer when you're popped up. It gives you a chance of getting away and resetting. This is a great perk for resets. It's a great perk for countering a slug. You can wait and hide until you see that the survivor is ready to be just tipped up into the right zone, and then you get to see the killer. Are they coming back for you? Are they picking up another survivor? Are they going for you? Are they going for the person you just picked up off the ground? If they're going for the other person, you run to the next guy and pick him up off the ground. A very powerful perk. I really enjoy bringing Buckle Up along with, believe it or not, botany knowledge, because botany knowledge gives you a 20% base increase to your healing at all times. It's not relegated to only when you save. It's not relegated to having a med kit available to you. You get 20% at all times, and 20% when you're looking at a snurse and 3 of you are slugged and it's only you, and you're looking to see which one you can pick up safely. That might just save your life. So, really big fan of Buckle Up in clutch slug situations. I like to run it with botany knowledge. Gives you a little bit extra time to kind of find stuff up. It's not a bad idea to run Buckle Up with something that also gives you a speed boost. Maybe something like a balanced landing. You can get up to a high area, watch to see who's getting close to being healed, and then pop down and sprint on over, pop them up. But you can use, balanced landing is one of those all over great perks, and so is sprint burst and whatnot. So, big fan of Buckle Up, but I like to use it with another healing perk that kind of makes it more viable to be done as a tactic. You'll see in this video, the nurse just rage quit because we were running buckle up, and she just like, well, if I can't slug, what am I supposed to do? And that was it for them. So there you go, some tips for Ash and Ash's new perks. I hope that you guys use them and learn them. Mettle of Man is very powerful. Flip Flop is funny and interesting. Buckle Up is a good perk to have, at least somebody in your group to have, that allows you to recover nicely from sluggerinos. But I think we'll see not very much slugging because these perks are big anti-slug perks. Even Mettle of Man is, you know, Mettle of Man, you get a nice, if it's procced up and you save somebody off the hook and the nurse goes to knock you down, and instead of knocking you down, you're invincible and you run away. And now you've successfully gotten a save, a clutch save at a time when the nurse wanted you and this other person dead and slugged on the ground. Very fun survivor in my opinion. Lovely cosmetics, lovely look to them, and the perks are fun. Hopefully, you know, if you like this video, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.